Hi, I'm Kate Ward, and this is your Dickman Farms decorator tip. And this beautiful ball next to me is a kissing ball. And that's what we're talking about today. You'll see these outside in the winter, adorning houses and just throwing beautiful color like porch pots do, or hanging baskets in the summer. So that said, we're going to tell you a little bit about how to make them today. So in order to create these beauties, you'll need a few supplies. That includes, I would suggest some wilt proof. You'll need some floral foam like this Oasis here that absorbs water. You can see it's cheating a little bit here on my counter. Give an example of where it is starting to hydrate and where it is dry. That's how you know it's the right kind, as opposed to foam that doesn't absorb water, so make sure you have the right kind. Of course, we have this here at Dickman Farms. You're going to need either some chicken wire as well, so these two or one of these. Wire cutters, pliers, ruler, bucket of water, and your greens. I think that's everything to start. Well, probably not, but I probably forgot something. We'll get to it. So that said, when starting this kissing ball, we're gonna need to start with one of two things. We're gonna need to start with the center of that kissing ball. Now here at Dickman Farms, we make the center of our kissing balls with this Oasis, and we actually use these. This is called a cage corso holder, and this is what we use at the center of each one of these kissing balls. However, if you want to make your own, you're welcome to do so. And this is made out of chicken wire and floral foam. So this floral foam absorbs water, as I mentioned just a minute ago, and by absorbing water, it re-emits it to these live greens and makes it just like a centerpiece, keeps those greens really fresh. So we're gonna cut to the center. This can generally be cut in thirds along these lines here. So you actually will get 3 out of 1 block, and you can use it to make 1, to make 3, to use the other pieces to make other things. So don't get rid of it, it's good stuff. The next thing you'll want to do, whether you use this or this, is you could get it soaking, or you could start working with your frame that you're gonna make. Now that said, I would recommend you soak it first, because Oasis, when it's dry, falls apart really easily, even when it's wet. But it's slightly more forgiving when it's wet than when it's dry. So I have one soaking here, and it just holds together. It doesn't break down quite as easily, but you get all wet. So it's up to you. You're gonna cut a piece of chicken wire to the size that would about wrap around this ball. And then you're going to go ahead and you're gonna wire close the ends. Now I had started, here's an example. You would take, snip, and wire close those ends where they come together. And I'd do it on both ends. I'd also do it on the top or bottom, it doesn't matter, but where those seams come together. So all seams need to be wired snug closed so that it doesn't accidentally release your kissing ball, and off it goes, all that hard work. The other thing you're gonna make it first is this hang loop. Now, to make a hang loop, you'll need obviously your wire, as you've used before, but you're gonna pull a piece out. Now here we actually do it at about 20 inches, between 18 and 20 inches of wire. So I just kind of did a guesstimate. I'm gonna fold that piece in half. See that? Fold that piece in half. Then I'm gonna take and I'm gonna fold that piece in half again, so I have it doubled. And the reason that this is so important is because this is what this guy hangs by. So we wanna make sure it's nice and strong, because sometimes in the wind they twist. So with just one piece, it can become brittle and break. And regardless of whether or not I'm gonna put it on this type of thing or this type of thing, I need to make that hang loop. So I'm gonna push it underneath and catch a couple, like this, and then I'm gonna make it a smiley face. Yay! I'm gonna take one end and pass through the other side, just like that. And then I'm just going to simply go around the neck. Just that easy. And that would be my hang loop. That was an example, I don't need 2. So now I have it, and then I would either soak it from there, or I would get to working if I had soaked it previously. On this one, very carefully, you also have to wire this closed. This has little doors, and if the doors aren't wired closed, well, same thing here. So make sure you wire the doors closed if you have one of these. if I were to keep going on this, what I would do next is I would hang it. And then it's really simple. It's time to get into your cutting. So let's talk about those for just one moment. Our kissing balls here are made with 6-inch cuttings. And that's right, through the magic of physics, geometry, I don't know. This square thing makes a round ball. This square thing makes a round ball. So as long as your inches are 6, you'll end up with a round ball. So that's where your ruler and your trimmers and your greens come into play. So I'm gonna find that 6-inch mark. I'm simply going to lay my greens over it and trim. And find my next 6 inches and snip. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm gonna keep going as many as I can find out of those branches so I have enough. And I'm gonna get a big pile before I get started. Now you see here I have kind of a funny piece with an ugly end. Well, this isn't lost. So if I have something like this, I can simply cut it towards me, in this case, and it hides that snip, whoopsies, like that. And I could use a few of these, because remember, when we stick them, they stick like this. So that said, we'd make sure that there was something else that's gonna kind of cover up that space. So while we can use a few, we can't use a ton, but we end up with a good pile of greens. So that's just a little tip for you. Once I have a pile of greens, I'm gonna go ahead, one more step before I get to sticking, and I'm going to strip the base of those. See here, I'm gonna take away those needles. So I have, and they end up looking like this. So it's very simple. I hold tight in the one hand, hold tight here, I pinch and pull, and it's just as simple as that. Pinch and pull. So, pinch and pull. Nice thing about working in a garden center, I can throw them on the floor at home. You're gonna have to think about it. So, there we go. At the same time, I might choose to do a few of these guys. Again, 6 inches is the imperative size that we're after. Maybe I want some cedar snips in there. As you can see, we have them in this. Again, where's my 6 inches? It's about here. I want to make sure I have that long piece that I can stick into the oasis, and then I'm ready to begin. And all I'm going to do is fill in the holes in that frame. Where'd it go? So I'm going to start and I'm going to work my way all around and simply fill in the holes. You can see I have this hole filled in. When that is filled, I just go to the next one. And I just turn. I keep turning my greens. So there's a front and a back to the greens, and I just turn them. Every piece, I turn it a little bit. And every once in a while, I just pick something else and poke it in there, right in that hole, and I fill up the hole, and on I go. And it's as simple as that. Remember again, this oasis will be that dark green color because it will be well hydrated before we start this. You keep going till you get all the way around, and as simple as that, you have your kissing ball. So, if you would like to come join us, we'd love to teach you how, but watch this and you'll be wonderfully successful. Until then, this has been your Dickman Farms Decorator Tip.